What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Happy Monday, people. Carnival Monday if you're in the UK as well. But listen, the Monday after the weekend when Arsenal beat Aston Villa, Arteta defeated Emery, and another big game this week, Brighton at the Emirates on Saturday before a boring international break that nobody wants to see. I've got to be honest, man. And listen, it's been an interesting weekend, man. I had to do an emergency stream last night. Eddie and Nketiah to Nottingham Forest collapsed. Eddie rejected the move. It forced me to do a stream, of course. But listen, we may have some light at the end of the tunnel. I may have said one or two things about Fabrizio Romano yesterday, and said, no more here we go, it's there we land, what the skibbity and all that stuff they're saying now. But maybe here we go is going just how we need it. We'll get into that shortly, people. Big up to everyone locked in. Hope you're well. Hit the like button, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. I'm going to start today's show by talking about some sad news, actually. Former England manager Sven-Göran Eriksson has passed away. Very sad news. Had a massive career as a manager, managed England, managed multiple clubs in Italy. I think he managed Benfica as well. And he was Leicester and I believe Manchester City manager over here in England. I may have forgotten one or two teams there. But yeah, obviously Sven, illustrious career, managed the golden generation of England, 2002. Probably a Ronaldinho free kick away from England winning that 2002 World Cup. If he doesn't lob David Seaman with that free kick, Ronaldinho, maybe England win that World Cup, because that German team in the final, I actually think England would have beat them. Notts County, yeah, I think he was involved at Notts County when they had that big money takeover, and I think they got Sol Campbell. But yeah, obviously thoughts go out to friends, family, anyone associated with Sven-Göran Eriksson. Very sad news. And obviously he'd been unwell for a while, and I think this has happened sooner than they expected. So sad news on this Monday. Make the most of each day, people. That's the lesson we learn from that. Let's talk football. Let's talk Arsenal. The transfer window closes this Friday at 11 p.m. And I'm going to be honest. This week is absolutely massive for Arsenal Football Club. Let me tell you that. Thursday, 5 p.m, Champions League draw. New format. I think you play 8 games now in this sort of league that they're doing. I believe... So I think the top sort of 16 qualify, and then the next 8 go into the Europa, and the last 8... get eliminated. I believe that's what's happening. Something along those lines. We'll get into detail when we do that on Thursday, 5 p.m. So make sure you're locked in for that. Then on Friday, the transfer window closes at 11 p.m. Then on Saturday, Arsenal against Brighton at the Emirates. So, Thursday, Friday and Saturday are huge. Huge, situations. We'll know who we're going to get in the draw. We'll know who's going to be playing for Arsenal till January, and we'll see how the game goes against Brighton. Where is Marino? Marino obviously arrived in England over the weekend. He's doing his medical. We're waiting for the announcement. It's as simple as that. Will Arsenal drag it out? I said on Friday it will probably be dragged out until Monday. They don't usually announce transfers over the weekend, especially with a game. I would expect it to be announced today. Why should it not? Like the pictures, the medical, it should all be done. But it's Arsenal, don't be surprised if it's Tuesday or Wednesday and they drag it. But I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be today. But we will see. Right, let's get into it. We went for an emergency stream yesterday. I couldn't believe it. Eddie's move to Nottingham Forest had collapsed. He'd pulled out of the move at the last minute. And it was like, I've got to go live right now. 15 minutes. I set up the stream. I said, we're live in 15 minutes. Simple as that. And I said some stuff. Some of it was entertainment purposes. Some of it was information. Information and entertainment. I did say the one thing I will let him off with is the only thing that makes sense is that Crystal Palace must have approached him or his agent while he was on the verge of going to Forest. And Palace have probably said, we're going to make an offer for you. We're going to match the offer. We're going to give you the wages you're on at Arsenal. Come to us. And Eddie must have thought, Palace are a better team in the Premier League than Forest. It's in London. It's a more established club, less likely to be in a relegation battle. That is the only notable reason that I will excuse Eddie from rejecting that Forest move. If that's not the reason, I said I would have forced him out. I'd have had him training with the youth team this morning. But I'm hoping this deal is on the way. Right, Fabrizio tweeted in the last hour, has he restored some faith? Fabrizio Romano, he said, I understand. Understand is always a bit, that puts me off. I need certainties. But anyway, we'll work with this. We understand Crystal Palace have submitted an initial bid to Arsenal for Eddie Nketiah. Club-to-club talks now start after the player opened the door to the Crystal Palace project on Sunday. I mean, say that you need me, always be my... You know that Palace song? Come on, man. Palace, that's all we got left. The Forest moves off. Forest have now gone back in, by the way, for Santiago Jimenez, and apparently the player has changed his mind and said he's willing to go to Forest now. I might be cherry-picking at things here, and I might be over-analysing. Him saying understand at the beginning of this worries me. I don't like that, what he's saying. And people might go, what's wrong with you? No, because when I look at how he tweets other transfers, I don't want this to be guesswork. He said things like Conceição has completed his medical. James Rodriguez has signed for Rayo Vallecano. Burnley have reached an agreement to sign Hannibal from Manchester United. He's telling us definitively Georgie is having his medical as a new Liverpool player, the goalkeeper from Valencia. Him saying, I understand Palace have submitted an initial bid. It sounds like your mates told you something and you I understand they've made a bid. Well, have they made a bid? I want you to say Crystal Palace have made a bid. I want to know how much that bid is as well, by the way. Have they offered the same 30 million or have they tried to lowball us because they now know they're probably the only club now that are banging down the door. So they might try and hustle us and come in with less money. So I need certainties here, Fabrizio. Otherwise, it's there we land and what the skibbity from now on, bro. Here we go, gets binned. Now, I'm not messing about. I'm not here for guesswork. If you're the oracle who knows all these agents and gets all the transfers, I don't want to read the word understand. But hey, I'll let him off, I'll let him off. But I'll be honest, at the moment, I'm waiting for Ornstein to talk. I'm saying it as it is. I'm waiting for Ornstein to tweet right now. Because I feel like Fabrizio, when it comes to Arsenal, it feels very, I've heard something But we'll see. We'll see. If he gets this right, then, faith is restored and we'll see how it goes, What do you guys think? Eugene Talks Football said, I'm with you, Curtis. Sandiso said, I'll believe it when Ornstein says something. That's how I feel. Big up South London's finest. Big up the community. Anyone going carnival today, stay safe. Carrie said he also said Eddie agreed terms with Forest. I mean, I suppose he's getting himself out of it by saying the player opened the door to Palace. So maybe he did agree terms and then, change his mind once the Palace offer was there. Let's see what happens. Guna Carlos said, he said understand about our last Rice bid. Fair enough. And that worked. And Trixie said apparently he was asked to take a cut if relegated. It's common practice. They would not pay you the same wage if you got relegated. Listen, if he goes to Palace and we get 30 million, I've got no problem. I totally understand him going to Palace. He's a London boy. They're a more established club. Nobody expects Crystal Palace to be in a relegation battle this season where Forest could be. They have been the last season or two. So I get it. But the deal needs to happen and it needs to happen quick. So I'll reserve judgment until Friday, 11 p.m. Alberto said, I get headaches when we talk about Arsenal exits. I'll be honest, it's this is probably one of the most frustrating summer transfer windows I've ever seen at Arsenal. Like, this is up there with Peter Cech being the only player. I'm baffled by this window. I'm absolutely baffled by what we're watching as Arsenal fans. I really am. Like, you've genuinely not challenged for the title since probably 2016, 15, 16, when Leicester won it. And even then, we crumbled at the end. Giroud couldn't hit a barn door. That was the closest we've got to a title. And you've built us into a situation where we're close. I look at Arsenal now, I go, probably 2 or 3 players away from being able to overcome this Manchester City, which isn't far, really. And yeah, Jacob, you say we challenged last year. Challenging is different to winning. Challenging is very different to winning. Asa Fapau challenged Usain Bolt. Do you know what I mean? Johan Blake challenged Usain Bolt. We've seen a lot of challengers, my friend. Challengers don't mean much unless they win eventually. We need to make sure we continue on that road to where this is going to lead to us winning. Because if it doesn't lead to us winning, eventually it can collapse. And that's always been my worry as an Arsenal fan. If we don't win eventually, you lose Saliba, you lose Saka, you lose Odegaard. And then you're back to square one and you're trying to rebuild just to get back to the situation we're in right now. This football club should be doing everything possible to make sure next season we're ready to win the title. We need an attacking player. We've sold Smith Rowe and we've got rid of Fabio Vieira on loan. If Odegaard gets injured, who's the creative midfielder? Kai Havertz up front for me is just not the answer. He's just not. Yes, he can contribute, but I don't look at him and think you can win us the title this year. I just don't. And Martinelli, I mean, we're going to speak about him. And even Trossard, I'll be honest with you, right? Trossard is at the point now where Trossard should be starting ahead of Martinelli. Martinelli's out of form. He's totally, looks shot to bits of confidence. But let's keep it a buck. When Trossard has had runs in the team, he hasn't necessarily been convincing over longer periods of time. I've called him Stella R. Trossard because certain games he looks like he's had, a pack of 6. He looks drunk. So we're all of a sudden everyone's going drop Martinelli for Trossard, but can Trossard do it for 10, 12, 15 games in a row? He's almost become that super impact player, that clutch substitute. So even Trossard's got to answer some questions. Can you start for 10 games, score loads of goals and play at that same level you played the other day? So we do have question marks, but that front line needs somebody to turn up and just freshen the vibe up. Give us a different angle. Nice catching you live all the way from Kenya, said Stephen. Big up. Quaza said Trossard's best performances are super sub most time, not going to lie. Yardman Jamaica, Martinelli needs to hold bench, not good enough. He's completely out of form. Ian Bryan said, so peed off. We sold ESR. Effed up on that one. ESR could have done a job if Odegaard is injured. Now we are in trouble. I always said with ESR, and again, I capped for him a little bit on here. I said, the only way I accept ESR leaving, in my opinion, is if a suitable replacement comes in. At the moment, we haven't. So I am concerned about that. But the problem is he's going to push for the move, sitting on the bench at Arsenal or starting for Fulham. He's going to want to start for Fulham. So he scored a very good goal at the weekend. Brio said, Cartoon Network settings, Eddie, Edu, and excuses. Oh, mate. Trust me, the kettle is simmering, but Friday, 11:01 p.m., we will have an honest conversation. Segment said, big up big CNC unit. Did you see the Palmer performance against Wolves? When last did Odegaard have a game like that? Odegaard needs to step up. I mean, first of all, they are different players. One's a left winger, right winger. One's a creative midfielder. I don't really expect him to play the way Palmer played. But 3 assists and a goal, it was an outstanding performance. But Odegaard's a different player. But yeah, I want more goals out of Odegaard this season. But Odegaard's a fantastic player. There's no doubt. They're different players. Oh, you're number one. M. Smiley said, I'm number one in your FPL league right now, even though it probably won't last. Right, I did say I'm taking this a bit more seriously this year, so we're going to have Monday updates. So let's double check. I believe I had a decent weekend. Not the best. Isak letting me down, bro. You know what I mean? No goals in 2 games. Let's check. I'm 58th, 59th. Yeah, Malik Smiley, 184 points overall. Ryan Pessoa in 3rd, 183. Denzel Francis, 181. What am I doing? 161. Triple captained Haaland, of course, no doubt. Ipswich at home, it was easy. For some stupid reason, I've got Rashford in my team. He's never touching this team ever again. Isak is winding me up. Can't hit a barn door at the moment. Salah. I had Salah in there. Let me not say too much, actually, because, I don't want people copying me, But, hey, we're in the mix. We're 50 odd. So, yeah, it's gonna be a good league. Like I said, whoever wins, there'll be a prize at the end of the season. Right, let's move on. International break coming up after this weekend. Let's have a look at some of the other transfer rumours. There's not that much going off. Yeah, why on earth did I put Rashford in? He will never go back in that team. Can you believe, by the way, Raheem Sterling, Jadon Sancho is a genuine possibility? Like, apparently, Sterling is open to the move. That would be an unbelievable swap deal. I don't actually know who wins in that. A lot of people going, yeah, Sancho's better than Sterling, which I get, but what has Sancho ever done in the Premier League? He's never done anything. And Sterling looks past his best. So I don't know who's getting ripped off more in that deal, to be honest. I'm not sure. It would be an incredible swap deal. But yeah, we will see. I'll get the FPL code. I'm looking back through the previous streams. I'll get it before the end of the stream. Right, let's move on. Next story. Victor Osimhen. There could be a bargain available if somebody is prepared to do it. Now, remember at the start of the window, we were told that this was a £110 million release clause. That is the only way anybody was getting him. Pay the release clause or you can't get him. It turns out now that you can potentially get him for £55 million, which is unbelievable. Let me just give you some details. So, Al Ali in Saudi agreed a deal of just over 65 million euros. Now, apparently a lot of the money was going to be paid up front, so maybe that changes why Napoli were willing to take less money for him. But Victor Osimhen has today rejected the move to Saudi Arabia. His agent insisting he has a lot of unfinished business in Europe and he's not willing to go to Saudi Arabia as yet. Apparently the Saudi offer was close to $500,000 a week. Now, he's certainly not going to get that, I don't think, anywhere in Europe. I just don't think clubs view him as that level of player. Apparently he wants around £300,000 a week. It's still big money. It would make him top earner at Arsenal. But in reality, I'm putting it like this, people. If we sell Eddie Nketiah to Crystal Palace for 30 million, which is what we want for him, or let's say it was even 25 million, and you can get Victor Osimhen for 55 million pounds, you're talking about Eddie plus 30 million to get Victor Osimhen. Now, in my mind, that is a very appealing deal. I always said I didn't see Osimhen as no £100 million player. I really don't. But £55 million for Victor Osimhen, I kind of feel like we've got to go and get that done if we can. What do you guys think? 55 million for me is a no-brainer for Arsenal. I don't get it. I don't get why he hasn't been bought for that. It's got to be the wage demands, the signing on fee, things like that. Yeah, you may. I mean, Fraser's saying you have to pay his agent 10 to 20 million, but still, even if you pay the agent 10 million, 65 million for Osimhen? I don't know. The thing is, you could probably get Gyökeres for a similar price, but why are Arsenal not doing it? Why? Like, I'm talking about it. I'm purely suggesting this. There's not actually a link. I can't even offer you a genuine link and say, yo, we're being linked with Osimhen. There's nothing. I'm literally grabbing this and saying, do you think we should go for him at that price? What do you guys think? I don't know. I genuinely don't know why Arsenal are not making a move for Victor Osimhen if he is available for £55 million. What do you guys think? Why? And listen, why have Chelsea not got the deal done? He must be asking for crazy things that's putting off clubs in Europe. You know, it doesn't make sense to me, that. But we'll see. At the moment, it still looks like he's heading to Chelsea. Arsenal not even linked with him. And listen, we're not even linked with a striker, which is worrying at the moment. Kimmy said the real question is, why has the price dropped so fast? Not convinced by him. If you look at his injury record, he's had injury issues over there. It looks like Napoli just won him out, and apparently Antonio Conte has questioned his commitment to Napoli. So, yeah, it's not often you see a player, 1 minute you're asking for 110 million, the next minute you're accepting 55 million pounds. That is a concern for me. You know, that tells me all is not well there. But, you know, the thing what's frustrating as an Arsenal fan right now, in my opinion, we need a striker. You could get Tony for 50 million, maybe less. They're even saying you could get Tony on loan with an obligation to buy, which is unbelievable. You can get Osimhen for 55 million. Gyökeres, Sporting won't get his release clause if they can't get the Osimhen one, who's got a bigger reputation. He's done it in Italy. He's done it in the Champions League. So arguably, you could get Tony on loan with an obligation. You could get Osimhen for 55 million. You could probably get Gyökeres for a similar amount, 55, 60 million. And yet we're not moving for any of them. That, to me, is just unbelievable. That we are prepared to just roll the dice with Havertz, who's not a natural striker, Gabriel Jesus, who's not a natural goal scorer and is injury prone, and Eddie and Nketiah will probably end up leaving. Like, surely they must be thinking we have got to make a move for a striker. I don't get it. It's worrying if we don't. It's really worrying. Maybe the money's not there. Kamal said Kudus left wing in this team would feed families. Yeah, listen, I'd love Kudus at Arsenal. We should have got him last year for cheaper. TNM, Odegaard has Donkey up front. Reminds me of Ozil with the original Donkey Giroud. He couldn't ever get to his best, could he, Mesut Ozil? Because I honestly believe a creative player is only as good as the attacking players in front of him. I can play you the best passes you've ever seen in your life, but if you can't finish, I'm never going to get the recognition, because at the end of the season, they'll go, oh, you've only got that many assists. Yeah, but if I had a proper striker up front, I'd have a whole heap of assists. Ozil was going to smash the assist record, and then Giroud couldn't hit a barn door for 15 games. So it's difficult. It's difficult. I think Odegaard even becomes a better player with a better striker in front of him. I mean, last season, Odegaard got 10 assists. I think he could turn that to 15 assists with a better striker. Rashford says, Trixie, I thought you knew footy, timeout worthy. Genuinely, I should step aside for 3 minutes. I've got to genuinely let go of this favouritism for Marcus Rashford. He is stinking out the place at the moment. Yeah. He's coming out of that FPL team and he will never return. Lamin said, Oi, Villa, do you know what it is? One shot, one kill. What's the deal? G-Unit, here we go now. I just realised what song that was. Do you know you weird? It's Tony, yeah, yo. 50 Cent, back on that gangster. On my way, OT to flip. Yeah, I heard that song for years, you know. What a tune that was. That was like Yayo's best ever record, wasn't it? I like that one. Anything hip-hop related, you know, I'm inspired by that. Big up, Lamin. I feel like playing that. See, right now, if we was on Twitch or something, I'd just put that song on right now and start blasting it. But it is what it is. Let's talk about the one player today that we are genuinely linked with. And, hey guys, be excited. Yeah, good one. I'm not excited, bro. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm just not. This deal to me makes no sense. Like, I've just sat here and said, you can get Tony Osimhen Gyökeres. Maybe not Gyökeres. There's been no actual evidence that Sporting will accept a cut price. But you can get Osimhen for 55. You can get Tony on loan with an obligation, possibly. You could probably get Kingsley Coman on loan. There's various other players available. Reports suggest after Arsenal complete some sales, interesting again, complete some sales, they may move to sign Atalanta winger Ademola Lookman. I don't know if I'm being a snob, right? And honestly, I'm reaching out to the community here. Like, I'm genuinely, I'm having an open and honest conversation. This is a safe space. We're in subscriber only mode. It's VIP section, red carpet business. Say whatever you want, as long as it's respectful, of course. I remember Ademola Lookman missing that penalty. I think he was at Fulham. I remember seeing this guy in the Prem. He was nothing special. A bit of a live wire, decent dribbler. Now, I'll admit, he's improved in Italy. There's no doubt. What he did in the Europa League final was outstanding. But Lookman, bro, like, I don't know, man. So I'm supposed to sit here and go, Calafiori, Marino, Ademola Lookman. Tell me. People who watch Italian football, tell me. Like, real talk, am I being snobby here? The Europa League final was nuts. I'm not going to lie, it went crazy. But is he performing anywhere near that level on a weekly basis in Italy? I can't get caught up in one game. I've seen Adama Traore look like the fastest, most dangerous winger in world football. The week after, he looked like a greased-up turkey on Christmas Day. So I need to know, how good is Lookman performing on a weekly basis? Tell me. People who watch Serie A, let me know. I don't watch Serie A that often, to be honest. Watch the odd game with maybe a Napoli, an AC, an Inter, a Juve. How good is he, bro? Like, for me, Lookman does not move the level of Arsenal significantly. He just doesn't. And Darba said, I watched Serie A. He's poor. He was poor yesterday. He didn't look great in AFCON. Lookman is pacey. Yeah. If Lookman's the answer, what is the question? And that's where I'm at. That is exactly where I'm at. What's the question? Because he ain't the answer. Now, what I think, let me explain this. I think Arsenal want a winger. We've read this before, by the way. And Ornstein actually said this last week, if you go back through his quotes. Ornstein said, I see a move for Nico Williams being impossible. If they can't get one of their top targets, they will look for somebody further down the ladder. That is what Ornstein said. So I think they were looking for somebody like Nico Williams that could come into the starting lineup. They're not going to get Nico Williams. For whatever reason, we can't afford him at 50 million because it's a release clause. You've got to pay all the money at once, plus the wages. For whatever reason, we're moving on some Klarna layaway business this year. Like, we can't buy a player until we sell a player. I want to know where the money is, but that's a different conversation. So I think they're thinking, look, Ademola Lookman, his wages are not that high. He's going to love to come to Arsenal. You know, he's played in the Prem. He's from, he's from over here. Well, he grew up over here. He would happily come to Arsenal and sit on the bench. That's the reality of the situation. Atalanta will probably accept a nice payment structure rather than a Nico Williams where you got to pay it all at once. Like I said, he's on 44 grand a week. 44 grand a week. Bring him to Arsenal, you offer him what? 80 grand a week, 90 grand a week, double his wages. He sits on the bench, you use him in rotation, left wing, right wing, everyone's happy. But for me, it's not the level of transfer that I want to see coming through the door. Now, actually, I'm looking at the squad for Atalanta. They lost yesterday to Torino, and Lukman was left out of the squad. He didn't play. He's not even on the bench, and he's not injured. So they left him out of the squad, which obviously tells you there could be a transfer pending. He was linked with PSG last week, but apparently that deal has broken down. And Sky Bet have now suspended the betting on a move for Lukman to Arsenal. Do they know something that we don't? The rumour is Arsenal would offer Jakub Kiwior as part of the deal. So Arsenal, I think Arsenal are looking at it. Number one, Kiwior goes to Italy, which he wants to go to Italy. Atalanta's a decent club, Europa League winners. They're in Europe again this year. So we get rid of Kiwior. Lukman gets a big money move to Arsenal. We get a winger that can be used in rotation. He won't complain if he's on the bench, and his wages are very low. This is a typical Arsenal deal, people. A typical Arsenal deal. This is like going into London to buy your Louis Vuitton t-shirt from Selfridges. You got a big night tonight. On the way by, you walk into TK Maxx and you see a nice shirt on the sale rack. It's not your size. It doesn't even fit you, but it's a nice brand. And actually, it's 70% off. You've been tight. You've saved some money. It doesn't even look that good. But you'll take it. It's still a shirt and you're still going out tonight. The only problem is it's 2 sizes too big and some of the threading's coming off. Once you put it in the washing machine, it's basically finished. And that's what Arsenal are doing, people. They're wearing a Ralph Lauren shirt that's 2 sizes too big, 70% off with a red sticker on the tag. I'm sorry, people. There might be people pulling me up on this in the comments. Ademola Lookman does not take Arsenal to the next level. He might be a decent squad player, in my opinion, but he doesn't move the level that high, in my opinion. Big up my bro Turkish in the chat. 5 p.m. We're live for OGs over on Turkish London, so make sure you tune in for that. Turkish LDN, sorry. So 5 p.m. over there. He said, Lookman's not the one, but he does intrigue me. I can't lie. I think he has the attributes to do well with us. But does he improve our conviction in the final third? Not so sure. And again, is he worth 50 million? I mean, Lawrence said it's your first L take. Fair enough. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at everything. You judge him off more than the final, is what I would say to anybody. You watch him in the final, you think he's an absolute superstar. That was an incredible performance. He got 11 goals last year, 7 assists, 13 the year before. He has improved. But somebody said, let me read that. Ivan Toney doesn't take us to the next level, but you want him. No, Ivan Toney's numbers can take us to the next level. I've said this many times. Ivan Toney is not a world-class player, right? He's not, and I've never pretended he is. But Ivan Toney will score more goals than Kai Havertz in an Arsenal team. I tell you that for absolute certain. For me, this is where I'm at with Lukman. I want people to understand I'm not totally writing off Lukman here. I think he's a decent player that can add something, especially coming off the bench. He's quick and he can dribble. He's direct. But he feels to me like a player that we should be signing for like 30 million, 35 million. I don't quite see enough from him to justify 50 million pounds. I don't know if I see that. But listen, that's what this is here for. It's an open platform. You guys tell me in the comments, do you see him as a 50 million pound player? 50 million is a joke for someone of his level. Lukman was Nigeria's best player at the AFCON. He's a top player, fair enough. 30 million and Eddie. Simply, we need a striker though. Turkish said if we get new and improved Lukman, he's definitely an upgrade on Martinelli and Jesus of the last 12 months. David said, you're wrong, you elite humble pie. Listen, bro, you know me. You can't be wrong and strong. If he turns up at Arsenal and mashes work, I'll be the first one on here saying I've always rated him, putting him on the green screen and saying how good he is. It's one of them. I've got no problem with it. Like I say, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I watch this guy on a regular basis. Watched Atalanta a few times last season. Let's get a poll up. It's time for a Monday poll. We're in an ATL strip club, people. Monday poll. Would you sign Ademola Lookman for 50 million? That's all I want to know. In this window, 50 million. Lukman, are you going? Are you taking that deal? For me, he certainly wouldn't be top of the list. I'll tell you that much. Would you sign Lukman for £50 million? Personally, I think the price is too high for him. I don't see him as a £50 million player. You give him to Arsenal for 35 million, I might say yes. Would you sign Lookman for 50 million, yes or no? And again, I can see the Rashford comments. I'll never live that one down, will I? I really won't. Listen, in all fairness, at least Rashford had a few big seasons in the Prem and a few big tournaments for England. But Southern Gooner said, morning, Big C. Haaland costs 51.3 million. Let that sink in. The Haaland deal is very difficult to make a judgment on, though, because when they signed him from Salzburg, that release clause was put in then, so we didn't really know what level he was at that point, and he didn't change the contract, so he was always going to go for a cheap price. They paid huge signing-on fees, though, Man City. Latte, and he knows his football, and he said, Lookman is him, trust me. I mean, yeah, okay. Is he 50 M's, though, bro? Is he 50 M's? Atalanta yesterday lost. Look at the stats. Yeah, I see it. 2-1 Torino. He wasn't in the squad, so maybe he is on the way. Alberto said, Edu said, be excited. I'm actually stressing out because we all have no idea what we're doing. I'm so lost with our transfers now. Kudus, Lukman, or Eze? I would take... I mean, out of them three, Lukman would be last. That's my explanation. I love Eze, but I think I'd take Kudus for the direct running. And I feel like we need a winger. We do need Eze as well, but I think I'd go Kudus, you know. He just, yeah, man, I'd go Kudus. But I do like Eze as well. It'd be difficult. People saying, Bomber, what's happened? What has happened? Has Ornstein said something? Or are you bantering me off here? Come on, Ornstein. What have you said? What have you said? Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, there he is. What the skibbity. Yes. Orny. That's what I'm talking about. Orny Bomber. We need some more red stripe. There it is. Pornstein in the building. Vamos. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Let me move this up. Ornstein, man, I said when you talk, I will listen. Fabrizio, I wasn't sure. There it is. Arsenal expected to accept an offer from Crystal Palace to sign Eddie Nketiah. Bid worth 25 million plus 5 in add-ons. Similar deal to Nottingham Forest had in place. Palace Arsenal direct talks. No issue anticipated on personal terms for the 25-year-old striker. Give me a second. Yes. We're getting the 14 back. We're getting the 14 back. Yes. Ornstein Bomber, he dropped it while we were live. Come on. Listen. Let me say something. Edu, well done. Well done, Edu. Real talk. You know me. The apology will be as loud as the criticism. Edu, we had to be patient. You've nailed it. You've got 30 million for him. He's got the move that he wanted. I'm even going to tweet it. Well done, Edu. I'll give him his flowers. Ornstein Bomber, man. It's hit, finally. Yes. That is beautiful scenes, by the way. That is beautiful scenes. Let me tell you something, though, people. Let me tell you. I am happy, by the way. I might get Henri 14 on the back of the Arsenal shirt. Like just to give that 14 the respect it deserves. But let me tell you something, people. Even though I'm happy right now. We may have won the battle, but we haven't won the war yet. And the war is, once he's sold, go and buy a replacement. if we sell Eddie and don't do no business, I'm still not sitting here celebrating. Like, I want somebody to join the football club. The Ornstein bomber, you know. Imagine they give 14 to Havertz. I'm not accepting that either. How long until Fabrizio copies his homework? How long are you giving it? 5 minutes until Fabrizio copies Ornstein's homework? I give it 5 minutes, people. It's 14:45 now. What time did he tweet this? He tweeted this at 2:40. It's been up for 5 minutes. Give it 5 more minutes. Fabrizio will start jumping all over it. Ornstein drops the bomber while we're live. Love it. Get us a striker, please. Is the tweet there? Already made a tweet. Has he said something? Don't worry, he'll copy the homework. Half the battle has been won. Do you know what? We've had to be patient, but I think in the end, everybody's got what they wanted out of this. We get the 30 million, which I never thought we'd get 30 million. And yeah, he has put a tweet, just the eagle with the timer. Eddie's got the move he wanted, which was Palace. He didn't want Forest. He wanted Marseille, but he gets Palace. Decent club in London. They'll pay the same wages. Arsenal get the 30 million. And we get 100 grand a week off the wage bill. And I bet you what happens now, we will sign Marino now. Because it seems like we can only announce a signing once somebody's getting sold. Same thing happened with Calafiori. Delayed. They announced Smith Rowe was going to Fulham. And then Calafiori got announced. And I think something else is going to happen now as well. I would expect Marino to maybe be announced today, to be honest. 30 million deal, very good. It's perfect for. Listen, let me get one thing clear. I've been very critical of Eddie Nketiah on this channel and made a lot of jokes and things like that. It's never personal. I've always said I wish Eddie all the best. I respect the fact a young brother's able to make himself a millionaire playing for Arsenal Football Club. But the reality is I'm a football fan. I want the best for Arsenal Football Club. This guy is not, in my opinion, good enough to play for Arsenal. He's not. And justify 100 grand in the 14. I'm sure he will go to Palace and he'll make a decent career for himself. By the way, it's not going to be easy for him to get in that Palace team because I would argue that Mateta's better than him. But I wish him all the best. If Palace play and Eddie scores, I will be happy for him. Simple as that. I'll be happy for him. Came through our system, scored a few goals, wasn't quite good enough. We got 30 million for him. It's great business for Arsenal. I just feel it should have happened maybe a year or two earlier. But maybe we wouldn't have got 30 million for him at that point. So I wish the guy all the best. Honestly, I wish him all the best. But I'm just glad he's not an Arsenal player, hopefully, by the end of this week. Simple as that. 25 plus 5, 100 grand, 14 back. Let's go. There is no way that Arsenal can go into a new season with the number 14 and the number 10 shirt wide open. They're two of the most iconic numbers at Arsenal. Thierry and Dennis Bergkamp. You have to bring somebody in. You have to. Now, there has been rumours that Odegaard will take the 10 shirt, but I would have thought they would have done that already in the build-up to the season. So, I don't know. I just can't see a situation where two of Arsenal's most iconic numbers are free. Number 10, like, come on. And then number 14, I'll be shocked if those numbers were left available going into a season. But we'll see. Damn! The mood's real good. Yeah, are you guys seen that in the bronze celebration that he does now where he shrugs people off when he does that? That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm just shrugging him off. Like, yo. But let's talk about the future. I want to see this. I'll be honest, at the start of the transfer window, wasn't too sure about this. But I'm ready for this. celebration at Arsenal. You guys have convinced me. A lot of you have spoken about him in the comments. I've watched a bit of him lately I'm ready. Give him a good number. Come on, Arsenal. Selling Eddie, cool, that's all good. You don't replace him, we don't really benefit from it. Go and do some business this week. Get rid of Kivior, get rid of Ramsdale, get rid of Nelson, make the money. Go and bring us a top player. I want Glockerez. Yeah, Glockerez we're calling him. Gunman. Unknown see, I've been saying Gyökeres since I first saw him. There's something about... There's something about the way he scores. It's like devastating. He ripped the net in half kind of striker. Can he do it in the Prem? We don't know. I'm adding it up like this. There's 3 strikers available. They don't want Tony. I don't think they'll pay the wages for Osimhen. He'll probably go to Chelsea. So this is the only answer available. You're not buying Isak. Get me Gyökeres, my friend. Go and get him. Stop messing about. Elliot, you've been saying it for time as well. You guys have been saying it. I'm ready for it. We've got to do something. We've got to try. Can't sit here and just go, we'll go for Isak next year. I'm tired of hearing next year. We're ready to go now. We're ready to challenge. Bring us the necessary attackers to get us over the finish line. I don't care about Isak next year. I don't care about war chest next season. Go and get us a striker in this window. Well done, Edu. You've done your work. You're just doing your job. What do you want me to do? He's doing his job. He sold Eddie for 30 million. Well done. I applaud you. I've tweeted you. That's it. Now go and buy somebody. Let's see what the Kroenkes are made of now. Let's see what they're about. As I said yesterday, Smith Rowe, 34 million. Eddie Nketiah, 30 million. Beerif, 4 million. Norton Cuffy, 4 million. 1 million for Patino. We've made 73 million, right? We paid 38 million for Calafiori, 27 for David Raya. Marino will be 32 million. We've spent 24 million in this transfer window. Is that acceptable for Arsenal Football Club? To have spent... Overall, we'll have a net spend of 24 million once those deals are done. How is that possible? And yeah, we got some money for Hutchinson. I think we got 3 million out of that. So we spent 21 million in this window. Are you telling me Arsenal don't have the money to go and buy a striker for 70 million? Or a winger for 60 million? We have to and have the money to make a big signing. There's no excuse for this football club. So it's on them. Edu, you've done your job there. Eddie's going. It's great news. But we need more than that. We need a lot more than that. I'm still excited, though. I love the way he just dropped that bomb. Yo, there's nothing like an Ornstein bomb, when it goes in your favour. Akeem said, would you not say we have improved the squad by quite a bit if we sign a striker? Bro, it's the missing piece. Really? Okay, eventually, yeah, you're going to need probably a top quality left winger. Trossard's 29, 30 in December. Martinelli's completely out of form. Long term, you would like to see a Nico Williams, a Kvara, Rafa Leao, somebody of that nature to go on that left. And then imagine you had Nico Williams, Saka, and Gyökeres as your front three. I mean, oh my days. Do you know what I mean? They're the kind of things I want to see. But they're probably not going to address those two in this window. So get the striker now, get the left winger next summer or January, and let's go. Let's go for it. We've got an opportunity. Some people might think, we challenged last year, or I think Havertz might be able to do it. Let's not take the chance. Even if Havertz is capable, give him competition. Bring in a genuine striker. That's where I'm at. Don't waste this opportunity. I'm actually being positive in the constructive criticism I'm giving the club. I'm pushing them to say, you've done so well to get us into this situation. Don't waste it by sitting still for one summer, because when you're chasing Pep, he will never give you a summer off, people. You don't get a summer off when it comes to Pep Guardiola. You've got to keep pushing the team forward and say, listen, we're going to keep pushing you and challenging and challenging. That's where I'm at with it, people. Let me get through these super chats. Snake Eyes, Lookman is not 50 million, 25 to 30 for me. City will not worry if we sign Lookman. Big up, bro. Ornstein said, Ricky said, Ornstein fabricated Romano. Hey. Jorge, go pick up Eddie and deliver him. Hey, you can get an Uber, bro. Big up Jorge. Snake Eyes, I will celebrate when he is holding up that shirt. I think it is happening. Eddie to Palace. Trixie said, now go get Gyökeres, please, for the love of God. Just get it done, man. We need it. Z said, so Curtis has a top 5. Top 5? Nah. Top 1. Nah, listen. Number 1 Eddie hater. No, go easy on me. I told you there's no hate, man. No hate in my heart, people. It's just friendly fire, you know. It's banter. You know, he was in that category with El Neni and Cedric and Rob Holding. You just got to get rid of them, man. You know, I met Cedric in the petrol station. He was cool, but still, you have to go, bro. It's the game. It's business. It's ruthless. How do you feel? I'm glad that he's going. It's needed. It needed to happen, you know. George said Kai Havertz 14. That happens. This channel will be suspended until further notice. It really will. Hallelujah, the 14 shirt is finally free. Good luck to Eddie at Palace, said Sam. I agree. And big up George with that one. Henry said, how can you look at his number and say it doesn't move a needle? He has had 2 consecutive good seasons in Italy. He was Nigeria's best player. I mean, he's had 2 good seasons in Italy. Not great seasons, good seasons. Does that justify £50 million getting... I don't know. Like I said, football is about opinions, Henry. I think Lukman has improved a lot. If he was costing 25, 30 million, I might be open to it. I don't see him as a £50 million player. And I actually think if you're spending 50 million at Arsenal, you can get a better player than Lukman. Not everyone will agree, but the poll is there. Let me know. Fitz said, no, well done, Edu. 3 weeks wasted for 5 million. I hear you. He could have gone Marseille in was it June? July. But we don't know how those add-ons looked. Maybe the deal was a lot more flimsy. It was 23 million overall, so I don't know. He's got more money, but it is what it is. Lamin said, Ornstein moving like Mad Cobra this window. Me press trigger, me not press people button. Yo, Ornstein is not messing about. Alexa, play Jada Kiss feature. Is that we gon' make it. We gon' make it. We gon' make it. We gon' make. Come on, man. You sign a striker. You sign Gyökeres or someone like that. I'm telling you, 12-hour stream. We're doing it overnight. It's a party. Today is to Edu. I like that one, Eros. I like that one. Sean O'Neill, 3 attackers out the door. Now we need a striker and a winger. You're spot on. Right, let me briefly, because the show's going mad. We got a very busy day today. So, yeah, we got a lot going off. By the way, we're going live at 3:30 for the member stream. I've owed you a member stream for a number of weeks. We're doing it at 3:30. 5 o'clock, we're doing OGs with Turkish. So it's just straight through today, people. So I need to round this up in the next 10 minutes. Then I'll get the member stream link out. We'll do the member stream at 3:30. 5 o'clock, I'll be live with Turkish over on his channel. So a busy day today. Lots to talk about. SG, celebrate good times. Come on. Finally, Edu's leaving. Edu, you don't get any praise from me, you clown. And I hope you get sacked. Oh, my days. Listen, Edu, you've done half your job, bro. Half your job in this window is to sell the players that are surplus to requirements for the maximum amount of profit. The second part of your job is to sign the best players possible for the least amount of money. To me, you've only done half your job. He gets a tweet, a well done, a pat on the back. That is it. I need to see more. You better sign some proper players. There's also a couple more players that need to go this week. Juice said, I'll always have a soft spot for Eddie. He needs to go. Thank you for your service. Big him up. It's your time. Yeah, move him on. Gunnarola, one of Arteta's sons, finally exits. If the rumour that Forest wanted a 75% wage reduction relegation clause, then I don't blame Eddie for rejecting it. In everything I said yesterday, I said if Eddie's rejected Forest to go to Palace, I hold my hands up. He's well within his rights to do that, and that's what's happening. So I hold my hands up. I apologise to Eddie if I went too far on yesterday's stream, but it felt necessary at the time. That was the mood when I saw that tweet. But Ornstein has restored all the faith with that bomber. Anyway, let's briefly look over the game on Saturday. I will go through those remaining super chats shortly, people, so I'm not ignoring anybody. We kind of forget that we had a game of football on Saturday night. And by the way, it was an absolutely massive win for Arsenal. Absolutely huge. Again, I think there were some question marks over elements of the performance. You can win games without playing that well. I just don't think you can do it consistently for a long period of time. You know, there's the odd performance thing. I didn't play well, but we won. You can't consistently do that. But this was a huge win for Arsenal. Crystal Palace beat us twice last year. You know, Crystal Palace? Sorry, I've got Palace on the mind, Eddie. Aston Villa beat us twice last year. Didn't even score a goal against them. So to go there and beat them 2-0 is massive. I'm going to quickly skip through the player ratings. I haven't even written them down. So we'll go in the booth and we'll freestyle. 2-0, Leandro Bloodclot Trossard and Thomas Grandad Partey. He moves like a granddad at times. 67th minute and 77th minute. Are we bothered about the stats? Nah, we're not. As long as it's 2-0, that's all that matters. Let's go through the lineup. I have to say I'm reserving special praise for the goalkeeper. In my post-match fan cam, I spoke about him in great detail, but again, I'm going to do it here and say that David Raya and Mikel Arteta, let me give Arteta some props in this as well, because I was not convinced when we signed David Raya. I was not convinced. I said, is this guy any better than Ramsdale? Is he a better shot stopper? He was getting lobbed. He was doing all sorts that I didn't like. He is quality. Do I think he's world class? No. I still think he's got to go up another level. But the guy has justified why he's playing ahead of Aaron Ramsdale. We don't even talk about that debate anymore. It's over. It's that debate is over. I would honestly, what do I give him? He made one unbelievable save. I'm giving him 9 out of 10. He keeps us in the game. We possibly lose that game if he doesn't make that save. Villa Park, a goal down, second half. Backs against the wall, bro. It's a serious problem. I give him 9 out of 10. I was tempted to give him 10, but I think that's when you make multiple mad saves, you give him a 10. Could even give him 9.5. He kept a clean sheet. We'll give him 9.5. Fantastic performance. In fact, he's man of the match, He's man of the match. I'll save the 10 out of 10 because I think he could have an even better performance than that. I think you get a 10 as a goalkeeper when you make like 2, 3, 4 outstanding saves. That's when I give you a 10. I give him a 9, 9.5. He deserves his flowers, man. He's been superb for Arsenal. Golden Glove last season. He's now making massive saves. Brilliant decision. No problem. Some of you have given him a 10. I have no problem with that. I'm reserving the 10 for a day where maybe he's had to make 3 or 4 top saves rather than 1. But 9.5 we'll give him, and I'll give him man of the match. Let's go to Ben White. Ben White, for me, gets 9 out of 10. Simple as that. Why? 2 words, people. Dark arts. Simple as that. 9 out of 10. If you haven't seen the picture, go online and type in Ben White, John McGinn. You might think, you're giving him a 9 out of 10 for dark arts? Yes, he gets a 9 out of 10 for dark arts. Did he defend properly? Yes, he did. But the dark arts? 9 out of 10. I saw this club go to grounds all around this country under Wenger and get beat up. I used to see Mourinho's Chelsea beat us up. United beat us up. We got bullied. The dark arts are necessary. John McGinn blasts the ball at William Saliba. Ben White gets the ball, blasts it at John McGinn. 9 out of 10. Enough said. Say no more. You've become one of the best right back in the Prem. You're one of the guys that deserves more credit. I'm sure you'll get back in the England squad. But the dark arts, 9 out of 10. Simple as that. Because we need that. That's what we need at Arsenal. We don't need to be liked. We don't need to be liked by every... Community saying 10. Oh, dear. I got to give Ray a man of the match. But Benny Blanco, 9 out of 10. Dark Arts, I'm here for it every single day of the week. Urian Timber. I'm going 9 out of 10 again, people. I'm going 9 out of 10 because for me, you do your ACL, you're out for 12 months. Your first game back is Leon Bailey at Villa Park. And let's be honest, what did Leon Bailey do in that game? Didn't do anything. Last season, what was he doing? He was brooking out on the pitch, literally, twisting up Zinchenko. He didn't do nothing. 12 months out, one of the worst injuries in football. You come back in your pocket. Leon Bailey. This guy takes our back four to another level. How good was it? No disrespect. How good was it not seeing Zinchenko at left back against a tricky winger? You felt secure, didn't you, people? You know, you felt solid knowing that Timber was there. You didn't feel worried when Leon Bailey got the ball because you knew Timber was there, people. 9 out of 10, rock solid. Gabriel. Clean sheet away at Villa Park. I'm going to give him a 7 because he made a mistake against Leon Bailey that should have led to Villa scoring. Watkins misses a sitter. It was poor defending. I almost feel like I should give him a 6 because really, I don't know how he's missed that. And if we lose that game, I'm absolutely going crazy on it. I'm in a good mood. Eddie's off. I give him a 7 because we won the game. People saying it was a foul. I don't know. I wasn't sure if it was. We'll let him off with a 7. If we'd have lost that game, I'd have probably give him a 2. To be honest. But we're in a good mood. We're in a good mood, so we'll leave him at that. But yeah, he's got to do better than that. Oh, dear me. I mean, I've kind of backed myself into a corner because I've given David Raya man of the match at 9.5. But this guy, I'm going to say it. I shouldn't say it, maybe, but I'm going to say it. I'm kind of thinking whether I'm right to say it, but I'm just going to say it. All due respect to Tony Adams, you're the leader. You're probably the best centre-back that's played for us in recent times. Sol Campbell, you came from Tottenham. You were an absolute rock. William Saliba is the best centre-back I've ever seen at Arsenal. And my favourite, by the way. I said it. I know Tony Adams got a statue outside there. But have you ever watched a centre-back that makes you as excited to watch a defender? How can you get excited watching a centre-back? They head the ball, they tackle people, they clear the ball. You don't get that excited. I get excited watching him play. He's unbelievable. Remember, I didn't say he's better than Tony Adams, bro. I didn't say he's better than Tony Adams. He's more enjoyable to watch. Like, he's my favourite centre-back I've ever watched play for Arsenal. William Saliba. It's just pure class. Pure class. Pause, by the way. But you know what I'm saying, people? It's pure. It's Rolls Royce. Tony Adams was an animal. But Saliba, bro, it's just a joy to watch. It really is. You know, it's like a cheetah just running through the fields with David Attenborough's voice. And here the cheetah glides through the Amazon, about to catch its prey. It's just, give him a 7-year, get that Chelsea contract, 7 years. He's unbelievable. He's just unbelievable. I don't ever want to see this guy leave Arsenal. He's that good. Let's go into midfield. I don't really know how to mark the midfield because I haven't even written these down. Let's start with Declan Rice. It was Declan Couscous. Like, let's just say it as it is. You got stitched up. You got played left centre mid. You looked uncomfortable in that role. You got booked. I don't know how he played 90. Do not waste Declan Rice in that role, bro. Like, you don't pay 105 million for one of the best number sixes in Europe to play him left centre mid. He's on the byline whipping crosses in with his left foot. I just, no. Don't turn Rice into couscous. He ran his socks off, but it didn't work. I actually think he was below par. I mean, out of sympathy, I'm going to give him a 6. But if we'd have lost or, you know, the Eddie deal hadn't been announced, I might be giving him 5.5 or something. Honestly, he's looked poor since the Euros. I know it's only 2 games, but something ain't right. I gave Saliba 9 out of 10. Declan Rice gets a sympathy 6. And I mean that because he was below average again. Thomas Partey. It's funny, they showed a highlights reel of that Morgan Rogers who plays for Palace. And he twisted up Partey about 3 times. So I would have marked him down, but you restored some clarity with the goal. So I'll give Thomas Partey a 7. Still not fully convinced by his performance, though. Looks leggy to me. Looks like energetic midfielders are going to cause him problems. But he scored the goal that secured the win, so I give him a 7. The goal covers up an overall pretty average performance, in my opinion. Our midfield overall didn't look great. We need this Mikel Merino deal announced. Let's talk about Martin Odegaard. He was tidy. I don't really know how to mark Odegaard's performance. What do you guys think about it? I thought Odegaard was quiet. Not spectacular. Worked hard, but what would you guys rate Martin Odegaard's performance? I don't remember him doing that much in the game, to be honest. 6, 7, really? I don't know. What do you guys think? I am a bit confused with that one. I watched the extended highlights back. I thought he was quiet. He played a nice reverse pass into Saka for the... Was it the second goal? The second goal. Didn't Saka lay it off to Partey? Captain, mostly giving him a 6. Oh, he missed a sitter as well. I give him 6.5, people. He misses from like 8, 9 yards out. You know, it ends up in Birmingham City Stadium. So I give him a 6.5, man. He should have scored. He was tidy without being spectacular. Let's go into the front 3. We're going to need another passport checking. I mean, listen, people, I'm trying my best to defend him. But there's only so much defending you can do. What's happened to him? Like, genuinely, like, this is like serious. You know, at the start of the Jay-Z record, dun dun dun. Ladies and gentlemen, public service announcement. Dun, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ricky Martinelli. Like, who is that? Because I don't recognize him. He was one of my favourite players. Brazil squad. Klopp praise. Pace. Ripping up Trent. Ripping up Cancelo. Great finisher. Can play up front. We thought he had a future up front. What is that? What's that performance? He's been space jammed. It don't look like... That's Ricky Martin. She bangs. Oh, babe, the way she moves. Oh, babe, because she looks like a flower, but she stings like a bee. I don't know who that is. I don't recognise him. Ricky Martin gets a 4. Headless chicken settings. He should have got dragged at half time. It got worse second half. Stunk out the place, honestly. Ricky Martinelli gets a 4. He's from Bolivia or Peru. That's and I might be being disrespectful to those countries, but something ain't right. Something ain't right. Let's talk about Kai Havertz. For me, that performance is the reason I want a striker so bad. He wasn't terrible. Let me not rip him apart and pretend he stunk out the place, but he didn't look like he was ever going to score in that game, and he didn't trouble them. I thought he just went... I give... I can't remember Havertz really having a shot. He had that opportunity, he got down the right, he didn't pick out the pass. I mean, I don't want to be harsh. Where are you at? 5, 7, 6, 4, 5. I'm going to give him 5.5. I just don't think he did anything. Decent link up, no goal threat. Fab's tweeted, we've seen enough, bro. Let me see what Fab's tweeted. He's going to try and do something to make it look like he's got breaking news. After the official bid revealed earlier, agreement done between Palace and Eddie Nketiah's camp. Contract in place, salary agreed, yeah. Listen, we've heard it from Ornstein, mate. 5.5 for Havertz. Let's go to Bukayo Saka. Oh, the near post one where he toe poked it as well. Oh, my... Yeah, 5.5. I'm being kind. I'm sorry. Bukayo Saka. Saka didn't get on the ball as much as I would have liked, but he had good moments. He got an assist for Partey. He was involved in the build-up to the first goal as well. And also, he had a good shot in the first half. He looked dangerous. So, I'd give Saka... I was going to say 7.5. SG says 5. Nah, he was better than that, bro. SJA said 8. 7 says PSV. Limping again. Nah, man. He limps when he wants. Bukayo Saka. He limps when he wants. 7.5 for Bukayo Saka. He's just class, man. He's quality. They know how dangerous he is, man. You can see they're scared when he gets the ball. Let's quickly go to the bench. I almost forgot about this guy. What's going on? Leandro Trossard. Let's zoom in. He's got to start this weekend against his former club. He gets a 9 out of 10. Mr. Clutch himself. When you're on the hill, you don't want the car to roll backwards. You got to use the clutch. You know, he is Mr. Clutch himself. 9 out of 10. Time for him to start. The celebration's elite. The finishing ability is elite. Your time, bro, has to start this weekend against Brighton, his former club. The celebration is... It's up there as the best celebration at the club, by the way. That and probably Saka doing the Henry lean on the corner flag one. You know, it's just amazing. Nelson and Calafiori, I can barely remember them touching the ball, to be honest. So we just give them standard 6. But yeah, listen, what I will say, we can't give up on out-of-form players. So, you know, Martinelli's struggling right now, but we've got to find a way to get him back into form. And also, we don't have that much quality on the bench, so we can't just give up on him. We need him to be an asset. Maybe it will be easier for him to come off the bench for 20 minutes and just go at somebody with tired legs for 20 minutes and regain momentum like that. So as I said in my fan cam the other day, don't turn your back on Martinelli. He's not leaving in this transfer window. He's going to be at the club, you would imagine, at least for the rest of the season. So we do have to find a way of, you know, encouraging him. We've seen what he's capable of in that 15-goal season, but he definitely needs to come out of the team and take a break, you know. So we'll see what happens with that. But listen, Brighton this week. The members stream, just because the show has gone on longer, I'll move it to 3:45 p.m. It's meant to be 3:30, which would be in 12 minutes, but I'll move it to 3:45 just to give me a little bit of time to set it up and put it out there on the community page. And then I'll be live at 5 with Turkish over on his channel. So 3:45 member stream, 5 p.m. with Turkish, and then I'll be back here at 2 p.m. tomorrow. But listen, if we get any breaking news, we will go live. In fact, 2 p.m. tomorrow, I've got Ben Jacobs on the show. So we will see what he's saying about transfers. So Ben Jacobs will be on tomorrow at 2 p.m. And, yeah, that's where we're at, people. Let me end the poll. Ademola Lookman, 50 million. Me, personally, I'm not sure about him at that price. 39% said yes, 61% said no. So there you go. The people them have spoken. Big up to everyone tuned in today. Appreciate your support. 3,000 of you in the chat. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. See some of you in the member stream. I'll see some of you for the OGs at 5 over on Turkish's channel. Take care, everyone. Eddie's going to Palace. Yes. Bless.